Okay, so today I got a little bit of a slower video, no gameplay, but something that I wanted to talk about because it was mentioned in the official, it is official, but I guess not the correct term I wanted to use, but in the live stream they did for the anniversary part 1 info, they did some Q&As, and this was live stream right here. They, this is the Korean live stream, if you don't know, the studio that makes the game actually is Korean, and this was the Korean side of the official live stream they did for the anniversary. And these three right here are YouTubers, and they the spokespeople open a panel, and wanted to ask some questions for the YouTubers to get some feedback. And Korean Jesus actually translated, like he was translating live, and this was one of the things that it was mentioned. The third question was asking about what could be better about the game, and one of the responses was from one of the YouTubers, this guy right here, I'm pretty sure, yep, this guy. He said that talking about Lost Fate Melody and new festival heroes and how stressful it is since it's hard to get, and how players are not happy in which the heroes were, their uses in the pool became balanced. And that's, I think, a really strong thing right now, especially in the current JP and Korean meta. Yeah, in which all the heroes should beat the new heroes instead of the new heroes should beat the old heroes. It could be a win-win situation if all the heroes get rebalanced. It's a big thing. I see the global boys posting YouTube videos and playing PvP on global, and it's so much more fun than the PvP on JP. I'm telling you, it's very meta driven right now. It's really cutthroat. You cannot have fun on JP right now on PvP. I mean, if you're a challenger and stuff like, if you're like, I don't know, masters, you can still use whatever unit you want probably. But if you are challenger and you begin to think of using a unit that isn't meta, well, good luck. You're gonna lose. It's pretty much how it is. It's not been like that until I want to say Lost Vein Meliodas came out. It was already, it was already, you couldn't really use whatever unit you wanted, but you could still try, right? Now with Lost Vein Meliodas, if you face him in the game and you don't have a meta team, you are going to lose. You are. You don't have. There's nothing you can do about it. You are going to lose because units are becoming way too powerful. The new units that released are becoming way too powerful. And balancement is definitely necessary right now. I believe lots of characters need rebalancement. A lot of units never even became meta in the first place when they came out, and I believe they should get a chance. You know, a unit that never became meta? This guy right here that I have level 80, Blue Bond. He has the worst, the worst bait passive in the game. When he came out, I thought he was gonna be broken because his passive is that he quote unquote steals, but he copies and pastes on himself 50% of all the enemy team's defense. And you think that's broken, but then you remember that defense is useless because resistance is the actual stat that matters. And Ban he has actually pretty good resistance. I don't know why he's so bad then, but he got completely annihilated on PvP because Ascanor has 100% pierce rate, which cuts 100% of defense, I'm sorry. So, no, he was useless from day one. From day one. And he needs a patch. Now, I don't know, genuinely, how they would balance units. Because the way that characters work in the game, cards are, copy and pasted for other characters. They have balanced cards before. This card right here that Shin and Blue Gopher have, either one I find first I'll open, but Shin, Blue Gopher, Red Monspeed, and some other characters have, it's the AoE weak point, right? It used to be 60%, 90%, and 150, and it got buffed to 80, 110, and 170. And that buffed all the weak point cards and all the characters that have this card. So that's definitely one thing they can do, just to buff the overall card and buff everyone that has that card. And it might be more difficult to balance because you don't want to, upgrade too many units at a time, but definitely upgrading passives, because a lot of what makes a character are their passives. If a character's passive isn't good or it's just completely awful, a lot of times, even if the character has pretty decent cards, it would just not make it. Like, again, this Bond's passive is pretty bad. It's pretty much useless. You'd think, again, you would think. Because when he initially was announced, I thought, this man is gonna be insane. He's gonna be super tanky, and he's not gonna die. How wrong I was. And then I aided him day one, and completely was a waste. But yeah, definitely, you know, I definitely want to see some, you know, balancement. The Rs and the SRs, I can definitely tell. First of all, we need more Rs and SRs. We haven't had a new SR since, what, Arden? Like, ages ago? Definitely, please, make more Rs and SRs. It's been a while since a new one came out. But, stats. The reason why SRs and Rs aren't as good is because of stats. They have just lower stats. And you know, like Twigo, yeah, his passive is really good. I commend this game for actually having Rs and SRs that are useful in any way, because a lot of gacha games, their Rs and SRs are just useless, right? In this game, it's very different. Rs and SRs are good because passives and stuff. And Twigo's passive is really good, actually. But what makes him not viable anymore is because his stats are so low that if you use him a team, your CC level is going to be way too low, and you're going to lose all the CP battles, and you're just going to lose the match. So, it's the thing, right? If the Rs and SRs had a decent, they had a comparable amount of stats as regular SRs have, they would be much more useful, because a lot of these have good, like, Elione has a good passive, man. He genuinely has a good passive of increasing the green's attack related stats by 10%, but you just can't use him because his CC is so goddamn low. Gilfunder fell off the meta super hard because of that. The same thing. It's the same thing. Gilfunder has an amazing passive, but you do not see him anymore, because if you do use him, your CC is going to be way too low. You just cannot compete. So definitely that's something I really want to see, just buffing the stats of all the SRs and Rs. Back in the day, they actually started doing that, where they were buffing all the stats of the SRs and Rs, and then they stopped. So I don't know, making at least equivalent to the SSRs would be nice, just to make them viable. And again, please make more SRs and Rs. Rs haven't had a new one since the beginning of the game. It's been a year. And SRs haven't had a new one since Arden, which I think it was Arden, the last one. And it's been a while. So some other characters, of course. One big boy, of course, Counter Melee, really fell off. I could definitely really want to see a buff for him. Like I said, Counter Melee is actually a character that has his own card, and they definitely could buff his card, make him like a Starossa, where he, you know, taunts or something. Definitely, that's a buff. Again, all these units, like, legitimately right now on JP, if you don't use like one of the 4 meta teams, you are going to lose, and you cannot change them. Like, you just have to use the meta teams, and PvP just became unfun. And again, I do blame it on Los Familios so much. I love the unit. Los Familios is one of my favorite units because it's so good. But because of him, like, I really, like, I want to make like these, you know, wacky PvP team videos, but I cannot lose it. I cannot win a match because I go in a match, and then the enemy gets Los Familios ult turn 1, and then I lose. And then there is nothing I can do about it. Just nothing I can do about it, because if I attack him, he gets his cards upgraded, and it's just this whole thing, you know. It really was a problem. And of course, other units that, come on, dude, like Blue Merlin, please buff this unit. She's so bad. She's just, I don't even want to talk about it. She's just so bad. She's just so bad. Green Grimoire. It's a joke, of course, the Green Grimoire, but genuinely, come on. No Grimoire in the game is actually genuinely good. The Red Grimoire is okay. Again, used to be viable. I have him level 80, so he should be up here. Used to be very viable in PvP because of his passive of increasing the HP of 15%, but nowadays, cannot use him. CP is low, cannot use him. It's just... Again, I think most of what I want is the buff for the stats of SRs and Rs, because it's just impractical to use them. But lots of these characters could use a rework on their passive. Like, I want to say, I really want to see a comeback for Green Bond on PvP. And I feel like the only thing that they really need to do is work with his stats. Like... if you, okay, just hear me out. Give him more pierce rate, because 20-ish% just ain't cut anymore. Give him more pierce rate, buff his stats by like 2%, and like change his passive to something else. I don't like this passive. This passive is just bad. Like, the passive is just not very good. And it definitely could be a character that I would want to see as a good unit again. Like, all these characters that just aren't used anymore. It's just so sad seeing them on my box level 80. And I don't know. I think a Red Gil Thunder. Oh, Red Gil Thunder used to be so fun in PvP, but nowadays, you know, his tanking is just not good anymore. You have better tanks in the game, like Green DN, that you might as well just use. All the Fat Kings are bad. Actually, Red Fat King is useful in one super boss stage, and that's it. Yeah, come on. Oh, okay, so this is a core example of a unit that has good cards, but a terrible passive and completely ruins it, just like Blue Bond. This man's passive is that he takes 30% less damage from ults. That's it. That's his passive. He takes 30% less damage from ults. That's so bad. That's actually so bad. His commandment is that no one in the match gets points by using cards, which, annoying, but you can work around it, right? And his card is the same one as Green Escuner, where he gains ultimate gauge on level 1 and 3. Level 2 and 3. And then he has weak point as well. The only issue is, I mean, I did say his cards are good, but he doesn't really apply weak point himself, so he needs someone else to apply it, to apply the debuff, right? And again, a work around his passive, change it to something else, and he could be a good unit. Like, legitimately, he could be a viable unit for the first time. Green Bond's a trash. I have no idea what he even does. It's just sickening. Lots of these units, Red Gila, please, do something about these units that just aren't usable. A lot of them can just be changed and actually be good. So yeah, this is just a pet peeve I've had for a little bit now. I feel like a lot of characters are just left behind, and if they can, and again, a game that I used to play a lot used to be Dragon Ball Legends, and they used to buff, they don't do anymore, but they used to buff characters regularly, and the old characters became good. Now they do like the Zenkai thing, which is pretty bad, but they used to buff characters regularly and just buff like whatever they did and just became good again. And that's what I want to see Green Cross do. So that's pretty much it. I assume, I was gonna say I hope you guys agree with me, but I assume everyone agrees with me. That would be a good thing for the game. Just buff characters. Go through a list, you know. They have all the stats. They have all the data. All the least used characters. And just do something about them. I'm sorry, I just punched my mic. And just do something about them. That's it. Thank you guys for watching.